Hello everyone, so today's gonna be a bit different in that I'm going to be using a drawing tablet instead of a display tablet. And this one was sent in by GAOMON. It is the 620 Drawing Tablet and it's pretty standard size for things like these. It has a pen holder, USB cable, and 4 express keys. So right off the bat, I wanted to challenge myself by using the express keys once again, and they were pretty easy to set up. As for my initial impressions on the pressure sensitivity for this tablet, I did have to go into the drivers and edit that a little bit because the default settings had me feeling like I needed to press harder to get this the pressure that I wanted. And so I had to go into drivers and change that a little bit to what I needed because I usually don't like to press too hard when I draw. So this one was actually a bit difficult to record because it's hard to find a camera angle where you can see me working on the tablet and also see what I'm doing on the screen without it being too zoomed out. And so this first part with the chibi, it's going to be very short. It's going to be the only part where you can see my hand actually working on the tablet. And I will say right now that I told myself that I was going to use express keys, but I really only used them for like half of this drawing because guys, I can't do it. My hand is just built for the keyboard. Like, I could feel my hand itching and wanting to go to the keyboard. And although this tablet does have 4 express keys, 4 keys just isn't enough for me. I just press too many shortcuts on my keyboard. And so I'm just not a person who can really use express keys because I feel like they just slow me down. But as for this specific tablet, they did feel nicer to press. I feel like the placement of them is much more comfortable for my hand, like compared to vertical buttons that are on the side. And so I will say that this was way more comfortable to use in terms of hand positioning because it feels more akin to like having my fingers on Control Z, you know. But yeah, my hand will always be much more comfortable being on my keyboard than it will ever be on these express keys. But apart from the express keys, using a graphics tablet instead of a display tablet again almost felt refreshing in a way because I can just like lean back and draw and be far away from the screen if I wanted to. It's kind of like a laid back form of drawing, and it really just reminded me of my first few years drawing digitally, and it just kind of brought like a feeling of nostalgia over me. But I will say my hand-eye coordination didn't really struggle for the most part. It wasn't that hard for me to like readjust. It's just that it was a bit difficult to draw in the small area compared to the bigger area that I'm used to. I guess my biggest concern with having to draw in a pen tablet again is that because it's a smaller area to work with and it is like positioned and angled below me instead of in front of me, my wrist, like my method of drawing turns into wrist. So this is a tip that artists get all the time, is that you should use your arm, your entire arm, to draw, and I just kind of felt like I couldn't really do that while using a pen tablet because it's a small area, and I almost like kind of forget to do it because my wrist starts to become very comfortable in this like comfort zone that it creates within this tablet. That's just me. I guess I feel like I just can't really work on super small spaces, or it's just the angle that's throwing me off. But if that's the case, I think I can just like prop up the tablet in an angle instead of just purely like perpendicular to my body on the table. And so that's definitely a problem that can be solved. Now this tablet is on the smaller side compared to a lot of tablets these days, but I think it's like pretty standard for a beginner, and this is definitely one of the more affordable options out there. So this is $32, and if you are thinking of getting this because you're new to digital art and you have nothing else to draw with digitally, then I honestly would recommend this because it is so affordable. And because this video is sponsored, I do have a discount code. You can get 15% off, which means that you can get this for $28 instead. And I'll tell you guys the same thing I said in my XP Pen video, is that if I was 12 right now and I wanted to get into digital art, this would have been like a godsend to me. A $30 tablet, like, imagine having that in 2012. That would have been insane. That would have been a dream come true. It would have been the perfect gift for my parents or something. I would not have had to save up $100 for a Wacom Intuos. God, I'll say it again. I'm jealous of the kids these days who can buy these instead of what I had to resort to back then. I will also say that there's a bit of a charm when it comes to drawing on pen tablets. Like I said, you can kind of just lay back and relax while drawing. And but I do feel like I was definitely a bit slower with this, and it felt good at first because I was like, yeah, I can just relax. But then slowly but surely I started to feel the downsides of drawing on a pen tablet, or maybe it's just because I'm not totally used to it. But I was a lot slower. I was less efficient with my lines, I felt like, because I wasn't moving my arm and instead only moved my wrist. A lot of the lines that I wanted were getting kind of wonky because my strokes just weren't as stable as they are when I draw with my arm. And so I had to go back and kind of redraw a lot of lines while sketching and all that. And selecting definitely is a bit of a struggle also, but I think that can definitely be remedied by just experience and getting used to adjusting with drawing on a pen tablet. When it came to coloring, color picking was a bit frustrating actually, because I wanted to pick a color, but then I was picking the color next to it, and I can almost like see the cursor shaking while I was trying to color pick because my hand was just so unstable. And I honestly can't really pinpoint if it's the problem with the tablet or if it's just my hands. I'm willing to bet that it's like literally just my hands. But yeah, color picking, a bit of a struggle with pen tablet, and selecting with like the lasso tool is also a bit of a struggle. I don't know if having a bigger space would really make much of a difference. Maybe it would, because then I'd probably be reminded to use my arm instead of my wrist a lot more. I will say lining was both fun and frustrating at the same time. Lining was fun when working within smaller areas like eyes, nose, lips, ears, but when it comes to the longer strokes, like let's say a skirt where you have to get in those long straight lines all in one go, usually that is just, I struggled with that. I struggled with it hard because I just can't keep my hand stable long enough to get these lines the way I want them to be with a pen tablet. And so my line work was definitely a lot sloppier this time around because I was less comfortable with the tool that I was using to draw. There is a charm to messy line work, so I did still like how this piece turned out. So final thoughts on the GAOMON S620 is that it is definitely top of the charts when it comes to affordability, and just if you're just wanting to try out digital art and not wanting to like burn your wallet in the process, I highly suggest using this. especially since you can probably find a bunch of discount codes if you look up reviews. And it's really easy to use and to set up, and if you're willing to spend a bit of time with it to get used to it and adjust to it properly, then I definitely think it's worth it. Most of my concerns and struggles while working with this product was more so my woes when it comes to using a graphics tablet, and not exactly I didn't really run into many problems with the actual product other than maybe the express keys require a bit of pressure to press. I think that's a problem that I have a lot with express keys, is that with a keyboard it's very easy to press the buttons because it's a big button and it doesn't require much pressure to press it. But with express keys, you kind of have to jam your finger into it, which, it's just, I feel like it's just too much effort to go through when you're just wanting to draw. And one thing I will praise about this product is the way that the express keys are arranged. So they are arranged in a horizontal line instead of a vertical one, and personally for me that is just way more comfortable than vertical, because my fingers are just more used to pressing buttons in a horizontal fashion than it is in a vertical fashion. So if you're like me, these express keys might work for you. And I emphasize might because I don't know, I haven't really found express keys that I'm super comfortable using. Maybe in the future. But yeah, not a lot of downsides to this tablet other than maybe it's small. But if you don't like it being small, there's definitely larger options that are also GAOMON brand. And honestly, the good thing about GAOMON is that a lot of their products are very affordable, especially the pen tablets. I don't have experience with their graphics tablet, but if this pen tablet is similar to the other ones and you just want a larger size, I say go for it. Obviously do your research on the other brands that you are considering, but I do think GAOMON seems to be a good brand. The drivers were easy to install, it was easy to edit my pen pressures, to set my shortcuts, and it was just overall a good experience in terms of product. I say now that it was a good experience, but I'm going to be fully transparent in saying that I could not finish this piece just solely using the tablet. I had to stop maybe halfway through the rendering process because my hand just hurt. Using a pen tablet was like resurfacing my bad drawing habits by not using my arm, and it was causing my hand to hurt. And I just felt like I just worked too slowly and it was bothering me, so I had to stop using the tablet and I switched back to my display tablet while finishing this piece. But once again, I really do not think that that says anything bad about the tablet. That's just my experience with a pen tablet instead of a display tablet. I just need a screen in front of me. And so with that said, I don't know if I want to review any more pen tablets. I don't know, I don't know if I like using them. I mean, I guess if you guys want to see me try different brands out, if they reach out to me for a sponsor, might consider it, but I'll be more hesitant. So yeah, that was a long final thoughts, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the GAOMON S620, and I would definitely recommend it. If you're looking for an affordable option, go for it. If you end up not liking it, you're only missing out on $30, you know? So yeah, go try it if you want to. And now that the review is over, I will finally talk about what I'm drawing. So this character, her name is Zabella. It's spelled Z-A-B-E-L-L-A, and this name, I think I just like asked Twitter when I first drew her. I asked Twitter for a name. Someone said Zabella, and I was just like, that one, that's it. Like, that name literally matches the entire vibe that I'm going for with this character, and it was just perfect. And I wish I could remember who had suggested it, because I wish to give them credit, but I just can't remember who said that name. But thank you. If you're watching this video and you know who you are, I express just so much gratitude to you. Thank you for suggesting that name. But anyways, Abella, I would describe her as a soft girl, basically. Like, her aesthetic is very cottagecore, like kind of princessy. And so I like to dress her in light colors and kind of pastel-y colors, and I don't normally work with pastels, so I try to add still a bit more saturation to the colors I use with her so that she matches the other characters. But for Halloween, I didn't want to pick anything too spooky. I still wanted to pick something that I could like play around with and make it cute and kind of match her style, and so I went with like a ghost. And my initial idea with this was just putting her in a white dress that was like all torn up because she's supposed to be dead. And I also wanted to kind of merge it with a mummy and have wrappings on her legs and her hands, because once again, she's supposed to be dead, and like dead people would have like wrappings around them, right? And so I went on Pinterest, I looked up some like white dresses for like ghosts or whatever, and I ended up not really finding a lot of what I was looking for, but I did end up finding this like ghost crown, like headband thing that was just like the cutest thing ever, and so I implemented that into the piece. And honestly, the ghost crown is probably like my favorite thing to do. I don't know if you can kind of tell that I was struggling a bit to render the skirt, because my hand was just hurting. I was like, oh my gosh, like rendering this with all these like tall lines and long lines, it was pain. It was pain. And so I had to stop using the tablet. But overall, I think this design, it did turn out cute. It's not exactly what I totally wanted. I kind of wanted it to be a bit more. It felt like it was missing something near the end, but I really like didn't know what else to add to it. I don't know if it's because I had designed 2 other outfits before it and I was a little bit burned out maybe, or if I was entering like some sort of art block that I just couldn't really think of anything, and that might be the reason why it kind of turned out way more simple than the others. I guess out of the 3 Halloween designs that I've done this month, this might be my least favorite because it's just so lacking in details, but I do still like it. I'm proud of it, and I think it really does match Sabella's vibe. But yeah, that is all that I recorded, and I hope you've enjoyed watching / listening. If you are thinking of buying the GAOMON S620, remember that there is a discount link below, and if you use that, you'll also be supporting me. So thank you for that if you do. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed everything, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.